it's been a couple of years since we've done our first volume of the book, so I know you're going to have so many more stories between when we did our book debut and now. So do you have a couple that you want to share with me?
A couple of stories. Yeah. Well, let me tell you a couple of stories about how touch has impacted people's lives. Many years ago, I had a gentleman who came downstairs from his independent living, and he was wondering what we were doing. So I told him we were just putting lotion on people's hands, and did he want to try it? There's no charge. It just makes you feel good. And he says, well, I'll give it a try. But he was a very grumpy old guy.
As most are.
So he came down and I massaged his hands, and not even for 2 or 3 minutes. But when I got done, he grabbed my hand and he lifted it up and he said, thank you. And he got up and he danced away.
No.
Now, that is just a 5-minute interaction that I had with this man, and I'll never forget it. So those are the moments that we get every single day.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So the other experience I had was just last week, actually, when we got to serve one of our veterans, and he was very vocal, and he did have dementia, but he was still very cognitive and was able to communicate well. So I told him what we were doing, but he didn't really understand because the TV was loud. So we turned that down, and one of the activities directors came in, and I asked her to explain to him what we were doing. So she did, and he said, yeah, I'll do that, but so long as you stay by my side. She's like, well, okay, I'll stay by you. I'm here for you. And he said, it's not that I don't trust you, it's that I trust her. She's been like my mom, my sister. She's been like my friend and my wife. All those things have gone from my life now. But so long as she sits here and I trust her and she trusts you, so I'll do it. So I was just offering massage to his hands, to his back, and he really enjoyed it. Yeah. But throughout the whole 30 minutes, he was very adamant that she stay right by his side because he trusted her. Yeah. So when I got to his back and massaged his back, he said, man, she knows exactly what she's doing. And this is for my muscles to relax and to make me feel better. And we were agreeing, yes, that's what I'm here for. And what made me really think about that situation was that in his case, he was able to express his deeper seated need, and that was to feel safe, to feel secure. He was able to express that. But it made me think about all the other people who are living with dementia who can't express that need to feel safe, to feel secure, to ensure that nobody's going to hurt them. Later stages of life, and you can't help yourself as much, and you don't have the resources, you don't have the caregivers that you once had, there is that deep-seated need to feel safe and secure. If you can't express it, it's going to come out in a behavior. So that's what we do with touch, is to make them feel safe, secure. Nothing wrong is going to happen. Not only that, but just the benefits of the touch in itself makes people feel cared for, physiologically, biologically.
So tell me, how did your nonprofit get started?
Oh,
first of all, tell me the name again.
Heartfelt Community.
Heartfelt Community. And where are you based?
Gloucester, Virginia.
Okay. And how did you get started?
Oh, it's a long story.
You got time.
So I got started when I went to Africa in 2008. And I was trying to figure out how I was going to serve the people of Africa because I wanted to be a missionary. I went to an AIDS clinic, and they had an alternatives therapy department. And then it was there that I realized, oh, I can do that. I can serve people with touch. And I looked around at all the sea of faces that were in the waiting room, and I wondered how many of these people were being touched in a healthy way. You know, because if you have a disease that people are afraid of,
like leprosy, right?
Yeah. So who's afraid to touch that person, or who has been cast out of their community because of what they are dealing with? And when I came home, I thought, well, who's the most touch-deprived people groups in my community? And I realized it was our seniors.
Elderly, so sad.
Yeah, and for one reason or another.
Because they're usually the sweetest, except those grumpy old men.
But there's a reason that they're grumpy. There's a reason. And yeah, I teach that all the time. It's not because they're just naturally grumpy and they want to be grumpy. There's something they're missing.
Yeah.
Or there's something they're lacking, or they're missing their loved one. That's all of us. We have bad days, but there's a reason for it. So the same for them.
So what do you do as a nonprofit here in Gloucester?
We serve people in later stages of life with healthy touch, with compassionate touch, which is different than massage therapy. It's literally just touch therapy. You know, and not only massage therapists can do it, but we have volunteers that do it. We offer it through the means of a hand massage, though we don't call it hand massage as much. We just come to put lotion on your hands, and it feels good. There's no charge.
I love being touched. It's one of my love languages. So
well, not everybody loves to be touched,
No,
but once we do it, then you see and feel the difference. And you're like, oh,
it's gentle.
yeah. Well, I do a little compression because I'm a massage therapist. It's in my nature. But compassionate touch is really just this, connecting with somebody one-on-one. Two hearts connecting.
Okay.
And hormonally, oxytocin is being released in both of us, which makes you feel good. It's a bonding hormone.
Oh.
Yeah. So we've just made a connection just by that. And you feel a sense of trust now in me because I'm touching you in a way that's non-abusive, it's non-threatening. All I do typically is I'll reach out my hand like this and they reach back. This is a universal permission to engage with somebody else, non-threatening. So I'm able to come and ask you if I can spend some time with you, whether you can speak or not. I can watch your body language to tell if this is acceptable or not. And then I watch you and I lay my hands on you and see how you respond, if you can communicate or not.
That's really special. And I know that you've done different things too, where you've had like homeschool groups or children come in with this as well, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
How does that work, or what?
Well, we just join with other groups in the community to just teach. I teach every time the importance of touch, the need for it, what happens when you don't get it, how to offer it. So we did a video a couple months ago, and one of the ladies who watched it had her grandson massage the hands of her grandfather who was dying. They have that memory now.
Yeah, that's so special.
It was a profound moment for their family. So even just teaching a little one to touch the grandpa in the dying phase, that's something that boy will never forget.
It takes away the fear of death as well.
Yeah.
So, so a couple of years ago, we did volume 1 with What These Hands Have Seen. And tell me a little bit about where you got the title for the What These Hands Have Seen book. Where did that come from?
Well, many years ago, I was holding the hand of a lady that was
I'll
a
always
client of
give you
mine.
my hands because I love being touched, like I said.
And I just saw that picture and I took a snap of it. And it was from that moment I thought, oh, what a beautiful picture. So sometimes I'll just go in and snap a beautiful picture of the hands together. And it was then that I thought even about the book that must have been 10, 12 years ago. And how beautiful it would be to capture the story of what these hands have seen.
Yeah.
Because, and you might say, I ask them about their hands, or can I take a picture of their hands? And they're like, oh, these old hands? And I'm like, yeah,
But
those
there's
old hands.
so much story in a hand, right?
Yeah, there's so much life that's lived there. You know, you comforted, you've soothed, you've cared for, you've served, you've gardened, you've corrected, you've loved, you've cared for, wound care. You know, you might have been a caregiver yourself. So these old hands that they say, they've been through a lot. And I want to hear the story of what these hands have seen.
And I know, like myself, I can look at a photo and I'll be like, oh, that's my mum's hands. And the older I get, I see my mum's hands in my hands. And I don't think people stop and think about that enough for whatever reason. And maybe there's not so great memories with a parent's hand. But yeah, you've earned every line. Like I tell my clients when we photograph them, you've earned every line on your face. I'm not going to take it away. Just like on our hands, there's a story behind every scar, every line, all of those things.
And it's about really dignifying your hand and honoring all the things that your hands have done and seen. So when they say, oh, these old hands.
But these old hands have done something that no other hand has ever done. Like they hold their own story in and of itself. Because I don't think in that first book that we interviewed 50 people, there was not one story the same.
No.
So, and there shouldn't be because, even interviewing husbands and wives, totally different stories. And that was beautiful too, being able to have the couples there.
Yeah.
So I know in volume 1 we had an assortment of people, some in assisted living facilities, some on hospice, some in their own homes, some newly diagnosed. How old was our oldest lady? 102 or 103?
Yeah, 103.
And even in the time period that we took the photos and we interviewed them, from that time to the time that we did the book reveal, which was only a couple of months, well, that's 6 months to a year later.
To get this book done.
Okay. That's true. It was from start to finish, wasn't it? But there were, I think, 11 or 12
that had passed
since starting the book, but their families were able to have those photos and those memories. And when we went in and we took the photos, we were able to gift them something that they never knew they needed.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what you're missing until it's gone, and you can't ever go back and get it. And that's why this is so important. And this was so sweet. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to partner up with you. And I feel like God put it on my heart to ask you. And then when we sat down and had that first meeting and you were like, did someone tell you my story? I'm like, no, what story? Tell me your story. And I feel like God brought us together for that reason, because it was on my heart and it was really special. And then this is exactly, you were just looking for somebody to create it.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the best things that happened, right?
I had been thinking about the book for years.
Yeah, and then I was just the light that you needed to make it. Because I think when it's the right timing, everything falls into place, and that's exactly what happened. And so now here we are, 2 years later, ready to do volume 2.
Yes.
And so that's exciting.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to seeing all the people that we meet.
So I was in the memory care of one of the local facilities, and usually I just go from one person to the next and spend maybe 5-10 minutes each just putting lotion on their hands. And this one lady, she has a really strong accent, but when we were done, she basically was telling me that this is where I can feel it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's really sweet.
Yeah. Then there was another time, this must have been when I first started. I was in the memory care also, and I was doing the same thing, putting lotion on the hands, and I noticed there was a gentleman behind me visiting his mom. So I turned around and I said, "Here, you want some lotion? Do you want to put some lotion on your mom's hands?" So he did, and so I turned around and carried on, but when I looked back, she was crying. And to this day, when I see that man in town, we give each other this knowing look. And that was years ago.
Yeah.
We don't know why she was crying. Was it that she felt her son for the first time? Did she remember him in that moment? I don't know what happened. But something happened that touched her life, and it touched his life too.
But you gave him a gift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just
so
been a
simple.
touch.
So simple. One of my favorites, and one of the first ones that we did actually, was when we went to Guinea and interviewed Steve. And he was a waterman, correct? And I remember getting in the car or in the truck with you and your pastor, and we went out there, and your pastor said to me, if you can't understand him, I will translate for you. And I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be interesting. And then we get there and I could understand every word he was saying because it was almost like a Cockney English.
Yeah.
But the irony was him and his wife had just been into the studio a couple of months earlier, I think, and gotten some beautiful legacy portraits for their sons and for their grandsons.
Yes.
And so to be able to, when I put two and two together that this was actually Steve and his wife, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so sweet, because his story, he was so humble. Like, he still to this day said something that I remember.
What is that?
That if you aren't my friend, I won't be your enemy. Right? And that was so, that was just really, really important to me, and something that has stuck with me, because I'm like, you know what, life's too short to be anybody's enemy. But it was so profound coming from him, and just somebody that he's just going about his life, living his own life, just not out there for everybody. You know, he's just kind of doing his thing, and he was so happy and content in it.
Yep. He's one of the last crab pot makers in Guinea as well.
Yeah. And that would, just to see him with his craft, doing his thing. And like, I think his photo was him creating crafting one of his crab pots.
Yep.
And yeah, that was really sweet.
They are.
I'm not saying they're all very important, but that one was just, I think, because I'd had that relationship with him coming into the studio, and I was able to, and I think just the fact that nobody thought I'd be able to understand him, but it was actually closer to my dialect than anything else. So that was really sweet.
Good.
Yeah. There was some naughty. You remember, like, some of the ladies, I don't know whether they get a little bit more risque as they get older, or if the filter is lifted, but we got some pretty juicy stories out of some of the ladies last time. I feel like the men were a little bit more reserved, maybe, but some of the ladies, they were punchy. They were quite feisty, and it was a lot of fun going in and hearing their stories. Some of them made me cry, and some of them, like, you look at them where they are now, and you don't know where they've come from, obviously. And so when we had that one gentleman who was the pilot, like the fighter pilot, and he had all of his awards and all of that, and you don't see that, you don't know any of that, and so to be able to be like, wow, he was a war hero,
Right.
it's a privilege to have heard those stories from that person.
The intention of the book is, one, to honor our elders in our community, because in our culture, we don't honor
100%.
we don't honor being an elder.
They're discarded or forgotten about, or what do they know, they're old.
Well, that's how they feel.
Yes.
I don't think that we think that, but I think they feel that way.
But
right?
like they're past their use by date kind of thing. Is that what you mean? Like, they're not, what good am I to society anymore?
Yeah, I hear that.
Okay.
I hear that weekly. I hear,
that's
what's my
sad.
value? What's my purpose? I've even heard somebody say, let's just face it, this is my last stop before I die.
That's sad.
So it's not that we don't value them, it's how they feel about themselves. And there's a lot of people aging alone for good reason and for bad reason. I mean, when the families can't care for their loved ones as well as they would like to, they might find themselves in a nursing home situation. So it's not ideal. I mean, what have we been told our whole life about nursing homes?
Yeah.
Don't put me there. Don't take me there. I don't want to go. And then they find themselves in that very situation. It is a scary place. I'm dependent on strangers. I don't have autonomy anymore. I don't have my own independence anymore. What's my worth? What's my value? And we've come from a place of serving. We're both able to serve many people and work. But what happens if I have a stroke tomorrow and I'm completely unable to do that anymore? My independence is gone. I get to eat when they tell me to eat. I go to bed when they tell me to go to bed. I might have to share a room. So all those feelings associated with all those experiences of loss, that's where those feelings come from. The other part of the reason of this story is to remind family caregivers and professional caregivers, not so much family, but remind professional caregivers of the full life that each of these elders has lived.
Yeah.
So if you're caring for somebody who can't talk, can't get up and walk, can't hear you as well, and they don't have pictures on their walls, you forget who this person is. You don't know who this person is, and you just end up doing a lot of task-oriented touch, bathing, feeding, cleaning, wound care, things like that. But when you've heard their story, oh my gosh, this man used to do this and that, and he had 12 kids, and he grew up on the farm and wherever. He becomes a real person that you can care for better.
Yeah.
So that's it. It's another reminder to professional caregivers.
I think that's important too, because the professional caregivers are only seeing this much of the person's life. And oftentimes when you're working, they're just another name, just another number, just another room, just another checklist to do. And so being able to humanize them, which is a sad way to say it, but that's what we're doing. Like I remember one of the gentlemen last time in this book, we walked in and he was just sitting there looking at a photo of his wife, and his wife had passed away 7 years earlier or something, and he had, I think, 6 or 7 children as well. But the photo that we have of him is just him holding his wife's photo. But he was sitting alone in his room without his wife, without his children, and the fact that when we walked in, that's what he was looking at, that was very touching to me. Wow. It's one of my favorite photos from the book, actually, was that, because he missed her, he longed for her, but without knowing who she was or his story. You know, it's just an old man sitting in a room. Right? And oftentimes as professionals, you're just going about your day, doing your job. You don't have the time to sit. And so I think that's why this book is so important.
It is.
Yeah.
And not that they don't care. They do care.
Absolutely, or they wouldn't be here.
Exactly. So it's just, you kind of get into the rut of things and get too much into task and got to do the job. But when you just do the job, the people, they feel that. They can tell when they're just a task for you. So that's my goal, is to remind caregivers that touch is important. Being connected with another human being is important. And the power of this, my mom told me once that she was in rehab, and then she said the nurse put her hand on my shoulder and it just made my whole day.
Oh, I know, that's so simple.
Just that.
And that's not a lot to ask either.
No.
So what are we doing? Are we going to do things exactly the same this time?
And then a little bit differently.
Okay.
So what I want volume 2 to be focused on is life lessons and stories of wisdom. Wisdom you've attained along the way, life lessons that you've attained along the way that you want to pass on to future generations.
And how are we going to get those stories?
Well, I'm going to go sit down and record their story.
Oh, I love that. You're going to actually record it?
Yeah.
I think that's great, because then afterwards, or a year or two, whenever they pass away, their family has their voice as well.
Yeah.
I love that. And then we're going to go in, obviously, and take photos of their hands. And we're looking for 50 people. Are you finding them all, or people nominating them?
Yeah, I'm in the nursing homes every week. So just through sitting down and talking with people, I'm thinking, hey, you want to tell your story?
Yeah.
And most everybody I've asked says, sure, I'd be honored. They want to tell their story. They have a story. So I've got about 20 people so far.
Oh, that's great.
And people can be nominated. We're actually looking for legacy partnerships to come together to nominate, or not nominate, but we're looking for legacy partners to come alongside in partnership with us to get this book published.
What is a legacy partner? What is that?
Well, it's you coming alongside and making a commitment to a financial contribution, which allows us to get the book published, but more so to enable more lives to be touched. So we have a big goal this year. We've operated on a smaller budget the last 2 years. This year is much bigger, and I want this book to be what takes us to that level.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we want to be able to serve 60 people a month with compassionate touch.
With your team?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, with a licensed massage therapist. We have volunteer teams that go into the nursing home weekly to put lotion on the hands to bring moments of joy and connection. So we want to increase our volunteer teams, and also I want to be able to coach other compassionate touch coaches so that we can multiply that effort in other communities.
Oh, that's awesome. I'd move into like different towns and
Move outside of Gloucester, and then once we get Gloucester established, move into Matthews, and then once we get that established, maybe we can move on into, you know, just kind of creep out from Gloucester and touch many other counties.
So how many legacy partners are you looking for?
50.
50 legacy partners.
My goal is 50,000.
Okay. So that everybody can be sponsored in the book. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. And of course, if I don't want to limit you to just 1,000, if you have a desire to provide more, and I also don't want to make it so high that you can't contribute at all.
Yeah.
So of course, any
Donation,
partnership is accepted, but we have big goals. We have big dreams.
And what do these legacy partners, how do they contact you, or what do they do if they want to become a legacy partner?
You can email me at ginger@heartfeltcommunity.org, or you can call me.
Okay.
But I guess I shouldn't just throw a number out there.
It's okay. We can put it in the details.